oblivious. Cultivating a bland obliviousness helps maintain one's protective lack of awareness. They would not see how their implanted and loudly proud attitudes were tailored to their ignorance. Angrily rejected any questioning of their violent faith in laughably absurd and decidedly stale religions. Enthusiastically supported increased defense spending every single year with no strings attached. Reflexively fought all environmental regulation with the identical and phony money and jobs objections. Never even realized how loudly they perpetually talked, always about nothing, all of the time. Did not notice the household toxics coating the trashed recyclables strewn in their unconscious wake. Never tried to see how empty and false both sides opposing sound bites sounded when compared. Stayed blissfully unaware that tasty factory food was killing them and wasting their one and only planet. Somehow remained ignorant of the fact that all of their opinions were media factory pre-digested. Soccer moms could not see how tiny and comical they looked encased in the carapace of a giant SUV. Lost their patriotic buying power so slowly that they scarcely noticed above all the social media buzz. Never knew that both sides handcrafted slick lies parroted by their equally well-coiffed spin doctors. Refused to see how their old white male traditional value conservative leaders always sold them out. Never dreamed that corporate sports were not actually possessed of a deep, true, and eternal meaning. Saw no need for saving until they were permanently outsourced and left unhealthy and in debt at age 54. Hadn't a clue about the thousands of untested industrial chemicals in which they were bathed 24/7 by 365. Mindlessly poisoned their artificially green lawns even as their precious children frolicked upon them. Never noticed the dirty trucks crammed with tomorrow's hamburgers pooping in each other's faces. Did not know where their clean water came from and never asked where their foul wastes were flushed. Instinctively opposed all initiatives coming from the other side, willfully ignorant as to their content. Focused on the trivial, they had no time to consider the astonishing shortness of their consumer lives. Their pursuit of happiness encouraged a sneering contempt for the eco-devastation that it produced. Inflated by the media with hot air patriotic propaganda, they could belch USA, USA, USA for hours at a time. Pecking blankly at their phones, they missed just how fast their real minutes were actually used up. Oblivious to whatever mercury, CO2, and mountaintop removal, they cheered on cheap coal-fired air conditioning. Brushed off consideration of record temperatures, increasing drought, huge storms, and rising oceans. Did not realize that clean air, good water, and toxic waste control were actually not infinite free goods. Never dreamed their kids' potentials were shrinking or that any possible grandkids might curse them. Never paid enough attention to notice that they fostered a sixth mass extinction from their couches. Remained blind to the ingredients in the factory extruded, flavorized feed they were fattened upon, were always too busy to exercise, but steadfastly maintained they could not tell any real difference. Their pounds of useless, contaminated fat built up so slowly they never actually noticed until their widowmaker hit. Remained frankly unaware of differences between in-depth analysis and snarky, buzzword-based spin. Deliberately would not consider that overpopulation was actually at the root of all their real problems. Were somehow simply blind to how very tenuous was the existence of their benighted human species. Stubbornly oblivious to the end, they were all, nonetheless, recast into the void that spawned them.